If you see her, please make sure you get her indoors and call the sheriff.
It began with a dream.
Alan Wake? Oh, God! I am your biggest fan. This would make a wonderful setting for a book.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife.
Makes them come true.
What's going on, everyone? The Great Talent here, and today we're going to talk about Alan Wake Remastered, reviewed on the Xbox Series X. I'm going to get into it in a little bit, what Alan Wake is, for those of you out there who aren't familiar with the game series. But before I do, I just want to thank everyone for stopping by. If you like the video, don't forget to like, and hey, maybe subscribe, get more content. I try and do at least maybe like 1 to 2 videos every week, as much as I get through this content. Get through these games I'm playing, these movies I'm watching, these TV shows I'm watching, and so on and so forth. But that being said, so yeah, Alan Wake, let's just dive right in. So Alan Wake is a thriller, horror, mystery type of game. It basically takes a lot of inspiration from some like big horror novel writers out there, as well as some of the video game aspects besides the books, book series. A lot of the video game inspirations, such as Silent Hill, mainly Silent Hill for the most part from what I'm seeing here, as well as other Remedy-styled games. The game is made by Remedy Games, who's actually the predecessors to this game at this point in time, were the Max Payne games, which were kind of can feel that. If you played Max Payne before, great games by the way. If you played Max Payne before, you can see their style with the camera, to the gunplay, to the way that Alan Wake moves, and so on and so forth. But that being said, I haven't played this game, this little gem, in about over a decade. The game came out in 2010. It's now 2022. The remaster dropped fall of 2021. I'm just getting around to it now. But it's pretty well done. More so in regards to there's really good ambient atmosphere with really nice fog and smoke effects. I want to point that out. The best visually striking part of this remaster is going to be the particle, smoke, and fog effects to really set the mood and tone for this remaster, for this game. It really is well done. I felt like it was some type of next generation type of graphics, even though it's just a simple remaster. The lighting, the fog effects, the smoke, it felt really well done. Like I was really immersed in that in general. But some of the character models, with that being said, some of the character models do look a little too last gen for me, like 2 generations ago. But like from the lip syncing and whatever, it just felt too stiff for me. But I get it, it's a remaster, it's not a remake, it's a remaster, so it's just a fresh coat of paint on an older generation game, so that's fine. But at least it ran at a solid 60 frames per second, was smooth as butter. On my Xbox, it felt really, really well to play this game. Very slick, very smooth, very fluid, and I thought it was very really good transition. Whoever did the remaster, they did a really good job of transitioning. But anyway, let's get a little bit into the story. So the story of Alan Wake, it's very heavy emphasis on the story, even though there's a great gameplay as well that we'll get into in a little bit. So the story of Alan Wake plays out like a Stephen King thriller novel with sprinkles of, like I said before, spooky games of Days of Future Past, of old, like Silent Hill, that builds up tension over time in an atmospheric, horror way. You're a writer who has writer's block, named Alan Wake, taking a trip with your wife, named Alice, to a small town in the mountains when things go tits up. Delicately said, and you're caught between the realm of fiction and reality, unsure of what's real and what's fake anymore. Apparently, you don't know whether you're dreaming this whole thing or not. And I'm not going to spoil anything too much, but as the game unfolds, you will see that there are some certain things that go on within this game that unravel and unfold as the chapters and episodes play out. That you can kind of see what's going on. But at the same time, you got to really pay attention. but he kind of narrates, so he'll like kind of break it down for you, like what's going on at a bigger, grander scope. For those of you out there who need like that, like myself, I need a little more of a breakdown, and had a little bit of issues with the storytelling in that aspect. But the premise is pretty intriguing, and while, like I said, some of the story elements are a little too ambiguous, is what I'm trying to say and convey for my taste, it always had me immersed, and the tale that was complemented by solid voice acting, as well as good old-fashioned Max Payne style gameplay and gunplay, where you're just like, there's no bullet time in the game or slow motion, but there is a little bit of, there's no like controlled slow motion, meaning like you can activate bullet time and go like Matrix or slow motion Max Payne style. You can, however, if you block at just the right time, or dodge, at just the right time, you can unlock a slow motion effect, which allows you for a ample time to do a counter move on your enemy. I thought that was pretty cool. Nice little nuance of a Max Payne style of feature into this game. And also, the enemies you face in the game are called the Taken, which are like these shadow demonic figures who have like this monotone echoed like voice, and they're basically just like shadowy figures of the townsfolk that are possessed by some type of demonic force. That's what you're trying to figure out what it is, from a dark dimension or whatnot, and so on and so forth. So they just possess the townfolk of this town of Bright Falls, and the town you inhabit, and on your little vacay into this dark, twisted dimension. So you're just trying to find, and the whole story and the premise is like your wife gets kidnapped, and you got to go try and rescue her, and things just spiral downhill. It's a domino effect from there, and one thing just leads to another right until the end game. So so that's pretty much what that is. In regards to the story, so moving on to the combat and the gameplay, the meat and potatoes of this game is pretty much, besides the story, the other half of the coin is the gameplay and the gunplay. So is it any good? So the combat, yes, the combat is similar to, like I keep saying, Remedy's previous works up until this point, such as Max Payne, the Max Payne series. They developed Max Payne 1 and 2, which came out in 2001 and 2004, I think, respectively. Or 2001, 2003, respectively. And I don't know if Remedy made it. I could be wrong. Remedy made anything else up until this game, about 7 years after. 7 years after Max Payne 2, the fall of Max Payne, and it shows here. I mean, they did a really good job with writing this game, with developing this game. They're really good developers. And in regards to the gameplay, like I said, similar to Max Payne style, whereas you use a combination of pistols, shotguns, hunting rifles even, and even more, the most powerful tools and weapons in the game, folks, the flare gun and flashbang grenades. That's right, you heard me correctly. You get the most powerful tools in the game that you could have within your arsenal and hoard at all times are going to be the flashbang grenades and the flare guns. Why? Because the Taken, of course, you can guess it, are weak to light sources. So any type of light, if you're in light sources, if you're out of light sources, if you're ever out of light, you're fucked, pretty much. It's kind of like Pitch Black, the movie Pitch Black, where you're in the darkness and the fucking krill or whatever the hell will eat you alive. It's kind of like this. They will rape you. So yeah, pretty much. With that being said, though, you're also equipped, like I said, with a flashlight, like a light source called a flashlight, which can be upgraded over time within the game's 6 episodes to last longer, and you get batteries. You find batteries to replenish the flashlight, the batteries to replace the flashlight in the flashlight because they run out faster than you blink. So literally, you hold down the left trigger, and the light meter will run out, and if it hits runs out, you have to wait for it slowly to build back up, or you can just instantly insert another battery and instantly gain that meter back. It's a pretty decent tactic overall. But I guess if I want to nitpick, though, about this game and say what I didn't like before we wrap this video up, what I didn't like, though, is how at the start of nearly each episode, like I just said, you can upgrade your weapons in a sense. There is no leveling up, upgrading your weapons as you collect them, and then you upgrade them like a traditional in a traditional sense. However, what really kind of made me go and scratch my head a little bit when at the end of every episode, with the exception of maybe the last episode 6, because there's only 6 episodes in the main game before any DLC is involved. You lose all of your weapons, and even a fucking flashlight. You even lose your flashlight, your light source, the one main thing you need at the end of every level. In the beginning, you have to find them all over again within the map, and it's like, and it's a very linear map, but still, it's like, come on, can I just keep it? But on the other side of the coin, I get why they do that, because you're not actually collecting these weapons and upgrading them in that type of method. There is there's no skill points, there's nothing you can apply towards these weapons. I guess it makes sense for you to just find them again. I mean, you find them relatively quickly, and like when I said upgrading your weapons and your arsenal, you go from like a double barrel shotgun to upgrade to a pump action shotgun, or you go from like something like that, or you just go from yeah, I think that's there's only one variety of shotgun. Everything else is just, you get a revolver, you get a hunting rifle, and then you get a flare gun and flares, and then a flashbang grenades. That's pretty much it. But that's all you really need. I mean, the game, again, like I said, the game has a more heavily focus on story and like the spookiness and the atmosphere rather than like gameplay. But the gameplay, I mean, the gameplay is there. Like it's prominent. The gunplay, there is a lot of action in this game. Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of action, more so than like any of the Silent Hill games, stuff like that. But it's not like one of those games where you're just constantly outrunning the enemy, like in that game called Outlast, where you're just constantly running away from the enemy. You face them head on. You can fuck shit up. Don't get me wrong. But I guess, like I said, if I had nitpick, I would have preferred to retain all my weapons that I found within each chapter, and then just, but that's just my own personal preference. Other than that, some of the platforming, there is very, very mild platforming within this game, meaning you have to like run, sprint, and then jump to ledges or like climb things very, very infrequently. But when you do, it fucking sucks ass, folks. Like, don't get me wrong, I died way more times than necessary just by simply climbing up a ledge or jumping across a very, very tiny, tiny gap. And I was like, this is stupid. Luckily, the checkpoint system is very, very generous. It saves very frequently. Every time you reach a lamppost, like a overhead lantern, you will save the game, or light post. The game automatically saves, and even like right before certain like major fights and battles, it will save. So that's the only saving grace in regards to the wonky platforming. But other than that, the game is pretty darn good, and it's a good time over a decade later. And I found it a great way to kill about 12 to 13 hours of your time, and it holds up really well as a remaster done in this very solid fashion. So really looking forward to Alan Wake 2. They just announced that at the Game Awards back in December of 2021, and I'm interested to see where they take this series next. I heard that it was going to be I think it might have been a television series at one point, maybe in BBC or over in Europe or something like that, or maybe maybe it was supposed to be a TV series. I'm not sure. If anybody knows about the Alan Wake TV series, I heard it was supposed to be something back in the day. I don't know if it ever happened. Maybe it was a mini-series or whatever. Let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'm just going to drop my score and then biz out. So if I had to score Alan Wake Remastered on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a great remaster. It's not perfect. It's not without its flaws, but it is very well done in a sense that it can be very enjoyable over a decade later. The camera, like I said, the graphics are... the smoke particle and lighting is astounding. Character models are still not, it's not great, but they offer a fresh coat of paint, and the frame rate is high enough at a 60 frames per second base frame rate on the current gen systems like PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC, high-end PC, that you can appreciate the game even though it's not a full like remake or genuine sequel. So yeah, and again, I highly recommend this game if you're a fan of horror games or horror novels, books, or mystery books or thrillers. You can get a lot out of this game in a very short amount of time. So that being said, that is my review of Alan Wake Remastered. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And coming up next on tap, I'm going to be playing that Kenna Bridge of Spirits game, Chorus, and finally I'm going to get to Guardians of the Galaxy. That game by Square Enix that they just dropped last October in 2021. I played the prologue, and all I can say so far is, wow. So that's just a little sneak preview of that. Anyway, thanks as always for stopping by, and I'll catch everybody next time.